The building is still. It is 5:47 in the morning, and you are the only person in the room, and you prefer it. The fluorescent lights above you hum at a frequency no one else seems to notice. Your laptop is open. The screen casts a pale blue glow across your hands. You have not yet touched the keyboard. Outside the window, the city is dark except for the traffic lights cycling through their patterns with no one watching. You do not remember when you started arriving before anyone else. You do not remember deciding to, but here you are. The silence is not empty. It is full of what you are about to do. Level 1. Script Kiddie. The silence changes here. You are 17 or 19 or 22. The age matters less than the fact that you are still learning in public. You download tools other people have written. You run them. Sometimes they work. Sometimes they do not. You do not yet understand why. There is a forum you visit late at night. The users there have names like Nsile and Ghost-Root. You do not know their faces. You do not know their real names, but you know their reputations. You ask a question once. The response comes 6 hours later. It is dismissive. You delete your account and make a new one. You do not ask questions anymore. You watch. The forum teaches you more than any classroom ever did. You learn that competence is measured in silence. No one brags about what they can do. They just do it and post the proof. You begin to understand that execution is the only language that matters. You spend 4 nights in a row trying to crack a hash. When you finally do, you post the result with no commentary. Someone replies, "Clean." That is all. It is enough. You do not sleep that night, but it is not because you are tired. You run the same exploit again just to feel the same thing twice. Level 2. Bug Bounty Hunter. The silence changes here. You are being paid now. Not much. $200 for a cross-site scripting vulnerability. $400 for a misconfigured API endpoint. The companies do not know your name. They know your handle. You submit reports through platforms that strip away everything, except the technical detail. You write clearly. You document every step. You include proof of concept code that does not break anything, only demonstrates that it could be broken. Some companies respond within hours. Others take weeks. Some never respond at all. You learn which ones respect the work and which ones resent you for finding what their own teams missed. There is a leaderboard. You are not on it yet. You check it anyway. You see names that have been there for years. You wonder if they still care about the ranking, or if they have moved past caring. You find a vulnerability in a payment processing system that could have exposed 6 million credit card numbers. The company pays you $1,500 and thanks you in an automated email. You do not spend the money. You leave it in your account and look at the balance sometimes. Not because you need to. Because it proves something happened. A recruiter emails you. You do not respond. Not yet. You are not ready to stop hunting. Level 3. Junior Penetration Tester. The silence changes here. You have a badge now. It has your real name on it. You wear it on a lanyard, and it feels strange against your chest. The office is open plan. There are 30 desks, and most of them are empty when you arrive. You still come in early. The senior tester sits 3 desks away. His name is Aaron. He has been doing this for 9 years. He does not speak much. When he does, you listen. He gives you a target network on your second day. A simulated environment. No real data. He tells you to find a way in and document everything. You spend 11 hours on it. You find 3 entry points. When you show him, he nods once and says, "Now find the ones that matter." You do not know what he means. You go back in. You find a misconfigured service account with domain admin privileges. You show him again. He says, "There it is." You ask him how he knew it was there. He says, "I didn't." But there's always one. You write that down. You begin to build a list of things that are always true. Defaults are never changed. Admins reuse passwords. Logging is either excessive or non-existent, never calibrated. People trust the network because they are inside it. You test these axioms on every engagement. They hold. You are in a meeting with a client. Aaron is presenting findings. You are there to take notes. The client is defensive. He interrupts twice to explain why a particular vulnerability is not actually a risk. Aaron does not argue. He opens his laptop. He demonstrates the exploit in real time on their production environment. He does not ask permission. The room goes silent. The client does not interrupt again. After the meeting, you ask Aaron if that was allowed. He says, They hired us to show them what's possible. I showed them. You think about the difference between permission and forgiveness. You think about subscribing to channels that break down real-world pen tests, the ones that show you what the reports don't say. Not yet. You file it away. Level 4, penetration tester. Nobody speaks first anymore. Not even you. You run your own engagements now. The clients are larger. The networks are more complex. You are given 2 weeks to compromise a financial services company with 4,000 employees. You start with reconnaissance. You do not touch their network. You gather information that is already public. LinkedIn profiles, job postings, DNS records, email formats. You build a profile of their infrastructure before you send a single packet. You craft a phishing email. It is not sophisticated. It does not need to be. It references a recent company announcement and includes a link to a document hosted on a domain you registered. The domain name is 1 character different from their actual domain. You send it to 7 employees in IT support. 3 of them click. 1 of them enters credentials. You are inside the network in 40 minutes. You move laterally. You escalate privileges. You exfiltrate a sample dataset that includes customer account information and internal financial projections. You do not take everything. You take enough to prove you could have. You write the report. It is 32 pages. The executive summary is 1 page. That is the only page the CEO will read. You make it clear. You make it undeniable. The client pays the invoice without comment. You are sitting in a hotel room in another city. You have been on site for 3 days. The engagement ends tomorrow. You have already achieved all the objectives. You could leave tonight, but you stay. You run 1 more scan. You find a backup server that is not on the network diagram they gave you. It is old. It is running an unpatched operating system. You gain access in 4 minutes. The data on it is from 6 years ago. Customer records. Employees who no longer work there. It does not matter to the current scope. You include it in the report anyway. The client thanks you. They decommission the server the following week. You do not feel pride. You feel the faint hum of a job done completely. That is enough. That is all there is. Level 5. Senior penetration tester. The silence changes here. You are training someone now. Her name is Simone. She is 24, and she asks good questions. You give her a target. You do not tell her what to look for. You let her find it. She comes back after 2 days with a list of vulnerabilities. They are all valid. None of them are critical. You ask her what she would do if she were an attacker. She says she would exploit the web application. You ask her what she would do if the web application were hardened. She does not have an answer. You tell her what you wish someone had told you. People are always the weakest link. Social engineering matters more than they think. You don't say more than that. She goes back to the target. She calls the help desk pretending to be an employee who forgot her password. They reset it without verifying her identity. She is in the network by the end of the day. You tell her that was good work. You mean it. You are invited to speak at a conference. You decline. You do not like crowds. You do not like being visible. There is a podcast that covers offensive security. You listen to it sometimes. You think about how much of the work is never discussed publicly. The clients do not want it known. The testers do not want attribution. The best work is invisible. You prefer it that way. Level 6. Lead penetration tester. Nobody speaks first anymore. Not even you. You design the engagements now. You do not execute them. You have a team of 4. You assign targets. You review their reports. You rewrite sections that are not clear enough. You meet with clients before the engagement begins. You explain the rules. You explain what will be tested and what will not. You explain that the goal is not to embarrass them. The goal is to find the truth before someone else does. Some of them understand. Some of them do not. You do the work anyway. You are in a boardroom. The CISO is across the table. He has read your report. He is angry. Not at you, at his own team. At the vendors who sold him solutions that did not solve anything. At himself for believing them. He asks you what he should do. You tell him to start with the findings marked critical. You tell him to fix those before the next audit. You tell him that perfect security does not exist, and that is not the goal. The goal is to be harder to compromise than the next target. He asks if you do consulting. You tell him you do not. You give him the name of someone who does. You do not take a referral fee. You do not need one. You are alone in the office again. It is 6:18 in the evening. Everyone else has left. You open a terminal. You run a scan against your own infrastructure. You find a misconfiguration in a cloud storage bucket. It has been there for 2 months. No one accessed it. No one noticed it. You fix it. You do not tell anyone. You add it to the list of things to check during onboarding. The list is now 40 items long. You know there will be more. Level 7. Principal Security Consultant. The silence changes here. You do not touch keyboards as much anymore. You are in meetings. You are on calls. You speak to executives who do not understand the work but understand the risk. You translate. You take a compromise that could result in data exfiltration, and you explain it as a dollar amount. You take a misconfigured firewall rule, and you explain it as a timeline to breach. They understand timelines. They understand money. You do not resent this. It is part of the work. You are asked to assess a security program for a company being acquired. You spend 2 days on site. You interview their team. You review their policies. You test nothing. You do not need to. You can see the gaps in how they talk about the work. You write a report that recommends they not be acquired until 3 critical deficiencies are addressed. The acquisition is delayed. You are not thanked. You do not expect to be. You are sitting across from someone younger. He wants advice. You tell him the truth. The work will cost him things he does not yet know he values. It will give him capabilities he will not be able to use outside of controlled environments. It will make him see systems everywhere. Infrastructure, networks, people. All of it is reducible to access points and permissions and trust models. You tell him that once he learns to see it, he will not be able to stop. He asks if it is worth it. You do not answer. He takes the job anyway. Level 8. Independent Contractor. The silence changes here. You work for yourself now. No office. No badge. No team. Clients hire you for specific engagements. You name your rate. They pay it or they do not. Most of them pay. You travel often. You are in a different city every 2 weeks. Hotels that all look the same. Airports at hours that feel like nowhere. You do not mind. The work is cleaner this way. No politics. No performance reviews. No meetings about meetings. You are hired to test a healthcare network. The scope is broad. You are given 4 weeks. You finish in 9 days. You find a vulnerability in their patient records system that would have allowed unauthenticated access to everything. You write the report. You send it. You invoice them. They pay within 24 hours. You do not hear from them again. You do not need to. You are walking through an airport terminal. You see a man in a suit on a phone call. He is talking about a data breach. His company was compromised. He does not know how. He is trying to explain it to someone who is not technical. He is failing. You keep walking. You do not offer help. You have learned that people do not want solutions from strangers. They want them from people they have already decided to trust. You board your flight. You open your laptop. You begin writing a new methodology document. Not for a client, for yourself. You have been refining it for 3 years. It is now 60 pages. No one will ever read it. That is not the point. Level 9. Ghost. Nobody speaks first anymore, not even you. You do not advertise. You do not have a website. Clients find you through referrals. You do not know who refers you. You do not ask. The work is different now. You are not testing networks. You are testing people who test networks. Red team evaluations. You are hired to assess whether a company's internal security team can detect a sophisticated attacker. You are given no scope, no rules of engagement, no list of excluded targets. You are told to do what an attacker would do. You spend 3 weeks doing nothing. You watch. You learn their patterns. You identify who works late, who leaves their laptop unlocked, who takes the same route to the parking garage every day. You do not need to exploit a vulnerability in their software. You exploit the vulnerability in their routine. You gain access to the building by tailgating behind an employee. You sit at an empty desk. You plug in a device. You are inside their network. You move carefully. You leave traces that a good team would find. They do not find them. You escalate to domain admin. You write the report. It is the hardest one you have ever written. You do not criticize the team. You criticize the system that allowed this to be possible. The CISO reads it. He calls you. He asks if you can train his team. You tell him you do not do training. You give him the name of someone who does. You decline follow-up work. You always do. You are standing in your own apartment. It is 11:34 at night. The city outside is loud, but you do not hear it. You are looking at a laptop that is not connected to anything. No network, no internet. You use it to write notes, observations, things you do not want stored anywhere else. You have been doing this for 6 years. The document is now 200 pages. You will never publish it. You will never share it. It is not for anyone else. It is the map of how you think. You close the laptop. You have not slept yet. Level 10. The one who leaves. You stop taking contracts. Not all at once. You let them taper. You say no more often than yes. Clients ask why. You do not explain. You do not owe them an explanation. You have enough money. You have had enough for years. That was never why you kept working. You kept working because you did not know what you would do if you stopped. Now you do. You are going to disappear, not dramatically, not publicly. You are simply going to stop being reachable. You will not delete your email. You will not shut down your phone. You will simply stop responding. People will assume you are busy. Then they will assume you have moved on. Then they will forget. That is fine. You have already forgotten most of them. You are sitting in the same building where this began. It is 5:47 in the morning. You are not the only person in the room anymore. There is someone else at a desk near the window. You do not know their name. They arrived 10 minutes before you did. They have not looked up. Their screen casts the same pale blue glow you remember. You watch them for a moment. They are running a scan. You can tell by the way their eyes move. You recognize the focus. You recognize the silence. You stand. You pick up your bag. You walk toward the door. You do not say anything. You do not look back. The building is still. Someone else is here now. You are not.